अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभा तीर्थ गोस्वामिने नमः। यतीन्द्रिय नमस्तुभ्यं गौरकृष्णप्रियात्मने रूपानुगगति ज्ञाय गुरुदेवाय ते नमः। पतितपावन परम करुणामय परमाराध्यतम श्रील गुरुदेव नित्यलीला प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज जी के श्रीपाद पद्म में असंख्य कोटि साष्टांग दंडवत प्रणाम करते हुए उनकी अहेतु की कृपा प्रार्थना करता हूँ। परमाराध्य शिक्षा गुरु श्रील भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोस्वामी महाराज जी एवं श्रील भक्त निकेतन तुर्याश्रमी गोस्वामी महाराज जी के श्रीपाद पद्म में असंख्य कोटि साष्टांग दंडवत प्रणाम करते हुए उनकी अहेतु की कृपा प्रार्थना करता हूँ। By the mercy of most revered Srila Gurudev, we have been discussing the glories of the holy name for last 10 days. And yesterday it was Indra Ekadashi Tithi, so we had a different Harikatha about Indra Ekadashi. But for last 10 days we have been discussing about glories of the holy name. That how the holy name is glorious, and also the living example of the holy name is Srila Haridas Thakur. So we have discussed a little about Haridas Thakur and also tried a little to understand that only in the association of pure devotees, only in the association of such great elevated personalities, there is the possibility of performing bhajan. Independent of Guru Vaishnavas, no one in this world can ever perform bhajan, Naam bhajan, chanting of the holy name. The holy name doesn't carry any potency if a person does it by himself. But if a person can attentively listen to the holy name coming out from the lotus lips of pure devotees, life can nicely be transformed. The life will be completely transformed. That is the speciality. And we have seen how this lady Lakshahira, that prostitute who was so eager to get money and also who has approached Srila Haridas Thakur with the intention to spoil his character, but still by the default nature she had to pay pranams to Tulsi and also to the devotee, she just did the same, and she was sitting there and performing Anukirtan. Anukirtan means whatever kirtan is being performed by the pure devotees, repeating the same kirtan is Anukirtan. So if a person can perform this Anukirtan, it's very natural that the life will be completely transformed. That is the speciality. Even Shukracharya also, Shukracharya says in his prayers, when he was offering his respects to Bhagavan Vaman, and then as per the advice of Vamandev advised him, if you can perform some kinds of rituals for the benefit of your disciple Bali Maharaj, that will be useful for him. He will be benefited. Listening to this, Shukracharya, in his prayers to the Lord, he says, Mantratas tantratas chidram desha kala vastuta sarvam karoti nischidram tava namanu kirtanam. He said there can be any defect in the mantra. There is a possibility that there can be some defect in tantra. While reciting the mantra, we may make some mistake. While performing tantra, we may make some mistake. And there can be a mistake or some contamination of the place, improper time. All these things are very much possible. Sarvam karoti nischidram. Everything will be completely purified. How it is purified? Not by performing independent kirtan, not by ourselves, only by performing anukirtan, by following the footsteps of our previous acharyas, by following the footsteps of our lineage, acharyas of our parampara, then only it is possible. Means the pure devotee. So now what it is said, so that's why a spiritual aspirant should possess a kind of natural instinct to respect sadhus, to pay pranams to them, and to accept and adopt their divine teachings. This is one of the things very important for the aspirant. Then only he will be benefited. Now, in the third chapter, here it is explained about the holy name, which is the divine rasayana. It's a divine medicine, it's a divine benediction which can cure all the diseases of the person. All the diseases means the most dreadful disease. People think that today the disease, cancer, or maybe in current day like COVID, these are the dangerous diseases. But these are actually not the dangerous diseases. I remember some time ago, like 15-20 years back, there was a big chaos about HIV. So people were like very scared of this HIV being positive. Slowly people got used to it. And also cancer is also like that. As the person comes to know about cancer, it's a big problem. But slowly they get used to it and they survive or they die, whatever happens. So all these worldly diseases are momentary diseases. They are not considered as that important, because all these diseases are affecting the body. Actually, in actual sense, they are affecting the body. So if the patient, even after such dreadful disease, also can remain happy, joyful, then he is least affected by the effect of these diseases. Internally the disease may be spoiling the body, but through his mind and externally he is seen very active and healthy, in fact happy. So these diseases, the impact of these diseases is not so much. The real disease which is following us since time immemorial is awareness from the Supreme Lord. We are away from Him, we have fallen into this world. So that's why this is the biggest disease. What we have to do? Krishna Buli Sejiv Anadi Bohirmukh, forgetfulness of our eternal relation with the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is the real disease. So the holy name is the perfect medicine to cure this disease. As a result of this disease, what is happening? the effects of this disease, awareness from Krishna, what happened? We have fallen in the world where there are so many problems following. Four problems are birth, disease, old age, death, and also threefold miseries, 4 anarthas, 4 doshas, Swarup Brahm, Asatrishna, Hridorbalya, Aparat, Brahm, Pramad, Viparlips, Indriya, Apatuta, weakness of heart, tendency of committing offenses, being illusioned. All these things are the biggest problems. We can't even count how many number of problems are there. All these problems are the byproducts of being one very big disease, that is awareness from the Supreme Lord, forgetfulness of our relation from the Supreme Lord. So that will be cured. So one main disease is cured, as a result all other diseases are also cured. That is the speciality of this holy name. Now there are people who, after repeatedly hearing the glories of the holy name and the wonderful effects of the holy name, now what they are doing, they wanted to take up the life of chanting the holy name, because when we feel inspired we like to do. So now, being very highly inspired by the glories of the holy name, now the person develops the desire to chant the holy name, understanding the teachings, understanding instructions to be transcendental, not material, because nothing from this material world can ever convince a person or encourage a person, inspire the person to do something better. Maybe for the moment the person may take up, but at one point he will give up also. There are so many people come and take up the path and then try to chant the holy name. You will find such people in this world, but after some time they lose interest. Why they lose interest? Because they could not understand the transcendental nature of the holy name, and also they could not understand the proper benefit of chanting the holy name. They are so attached to themselves, they are so attached to their body and bodily pleasures that they don't want to understand even. They may pretend for some time. That's why we see that, oh, person is really very sincere, but he lost his faith. Sincere person never loses his faith. A sincere person, if he approaches a devotee, he will definitely continue to be a devotee, because he is sincere. Lack of sincerity and pretending oneself to be a sincere person creates disaster. We may fool the people of this world, but we can never fool the Lord. So Lord knows everything. A sincere person, even in the most adverse conditions of his life, also never tend to give up the chanting of holy name, because he understands that the holy name is not from this material world. So material world is a different platform and spiritual world is totally a different platform. So if I can surrender to the Lord, if I can chant his holy name, then definitely all my material problems will be vanished. Not only that, the biggest problem, that I don't want to be in the service of the Lord, I don't want to serve him, this problem will also disappear from my heart. That is the speciality. So anyhow, after listening, some people would like to take up the chanting of the holy name. From one practical experience in this world, we see these people, in spite of their show of religious practices of chanting the holy name, etc., lack in the elementary principles of religion, not to speak of higher achievements. So, we can see by the practical example that many people, what they are doing, even though these people, they have this show of religious practices of chanting the holy name. There are many such people, those who do this show off kind of practice. Like they say, every moment we are chanting the holy name, all the time we are chanting 24/7, inside the heart we are chanting the holy name. If a person claims to chant the holy name all 24/7, then no second thought, there should not be, there is no possibility of having any second thought in his mind. If your mind is engaged in many other things also, at the same time deep in the mind, if you are if you are engaged in the chanting of holy name, how it is possible? Mind is only one, mind is not two or three. So, mind can perform one activity at one time. So, these people, they claim themselves to be so called devotees, and they make this show off of religious practices and also chanting of the name. They are very busy in worshipping, chanting so many things, but actually there is nothing to speak about like achieving something higher. That all that is not possible. And the example of these people, what has proved? The example of these people have proved that they have slowly constructed a thick wall in between them and the God. So, there is no room for the faith, there is no devotion, nothing. So, we are not supposed to walk on that path, we are not supposed to walk on that direction, that pretending themselves to be a devotee and speaking big things, and but in the name of achievement there is nothing, it is completely zero. And also slowly when the time comes to prove our faith to the God, then we will have a very thick wall between us and the God. Like what we have to understand, like we see this medical treatment, when the doctors, they give some treatment to the patient, they insist upon the patient to carry on all the instructions given by them, given by the doctor, and also strictly respect the medicine and the diet both. If a patient doesn't want to respect the diet, if a patient doesn't want to respect the medicine, it's not possible for him or her to understand or to get cured from any kind of disease. Simply by taking medicine is not sufficient, we have to have a regulated diet prescribed by the doctor. If we eat whatever we want to eat and if we don't take medicine, that is also not going to help. We have to take both the things. For that we have to accept whatever the doctor says. So, in the same way we have to understand the holy name is also the divine medicine. The holy name is also the divine medicine, and to save us from the chronic disease, what that is our desire to remain in this world, our attachment to this world and our desire to remain in this world is the chronic disease, and the holy name appeared to rescue us from this disease. So all those great personalities, our preceptors, acharyas, they are the one who are giving us this medicine. If we take medicine by ourselves, it is not considered bona fide. When the medicine is taken under the prescription of the physician or doctor, then only it is considered as bona fide. So these bona fide authorities, these great personalities, they give us the holy name. They give us the holy name and asks us to chant the holy name. And what is the diet? Following other injunctions of the scriptures. So chanting the holy name doesn't mean that we just give up all other injunctions of the scriptures that no need to follow. If a person doesn't want to follow the injunctions of the scriptures, then alone chanting is not going to help. All these people in this material world, they are chanting, not that they are not devotees, they are not devoted to the Lord. They are following, they come, they pay respects, they do everything, but their devotion is similar to that person who doesn't want to follow proper diet and who doesn't want to take any treatment from the doctor, who just use his own brains, go to the market, buy some medicine and then try to eat it. It may look like the person is taking medicine, but it is not going to help the person because he is not qualified enough to make his own treatment. In the same way, a person who doesn't want to go to the sadhus, who doesn't want to go to the pure souls, and who doesn't want to follow the Vedic injunctions, scriptural injunctions, and just go to the temple by himself and then pay pranams to the Lord, is not going to help them. But this medicine is transcendental. Lord is transcendental, all merciful and also omnipotent. So that's why if a person chants the holy name, the Lord in the form of holy name enters into his heart and then inspires him that you should now take up association and follow the teachings recommended by the scriptures. But that is again possible in the case of those people, those who are sincere. A sincere soul can only take up that lifestyle. Medicines can't do this. Medicines can't inspire the person to go to the right doctor. But the holy name definitely inspires the person, one who is chanting by himself, if the person is sincere. Like Dhruv Maharaj alone, he is in the forest and he is chanting the holy name. He don't know what injunctions to follow. He don't even know where to go, where to find the spiritual master. He is just chanting the holy name. What happened? The holy name mercifully blessed him, and Narad Goswami appeared there to bless Dhruv Maharaj. Narad Goswami was sent, was inspired by the holy name only, Naam Prabhu, that is the Swarup of the Lord. So being inspired by the Lord himself, Narad Goswami came there to show the path and also to give him the right medicine. And then we can see the attainment of Dhruva. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Yash Shastra Vidim Usridya Vartate Kamakarat Nasasiddhi Mamapnoti Na Sukam Na Param Gati. If we give up all the scriptural injunctions and advices, and then if we try to do whatever our heart wants to do, whatever our mind wants us to do, and whatever our intelligence wants us to do, then definitely the result is not going to be so pleasing. Nasasiddhi mamapnoti, you will never get perfection. na sukham, and you won't be happy. And then na param gati, after the person dies, will not go to the higher planets. He will definitely fall down. And also, if a person is not associated with the right doctor, means the right spiritual guide, definitely the patient with no proper doctor will spoil his health. In the same way, the person with wrong spiritual guide will also spoil his spiritual life. So, Kulashekar Alvar, he is one of the ancient renowned saints of South India, and then he is a great devotee of the Lord. He has composed one stotram known as Mukunda Mala Stotram. This Kulashekar Alvar is a very special devotee. He is coming in the line of Sri Vaishnavas, Ramanujacharya, and this Kulashekar Alvar is also addressed as Kurut Alvar in Sri Rangam, the main station of Sri Ramanujacharya, and his transcendental body is still present there. Original body of Sri Ramanujacharya is still present in Sri Rangam, and even devotees can have darshan of that body from at least the distance of 5 feet. You can just see the body from at least 5 feet. No one is allowed to go inside the main temple, and to touch that body is a different story. So, Ramanujacharya's divine body is still kept in Sri Rangam, that is his main station, and in that place there is a small temple which was made in the memorial of this Kulashekar Alvar, Kurut Alvar, and he is amazing devotee. He was a king. He used to have so many ministers and so many soldiers with him. He was so pious king, so religious king. Every day he would sit and discuss on Bhagavatam and all other spiritual literature. Now a king means he should have this strong desire to conquer the world, to expand the kingdom, to rule the kingdom. All these qualities should be there, in Kshatriya spirit should be there. But he is behaving like a sadhu. So, being worried by his nature, his ministers one day they planned that we have to do something which can divert the mind of the king. So, what they did, they steal the golden jewelry of the deities of the temple, and then they told the king that actually all these priests, they have stolen everything. And the king, he is very pious and very devotee of the Lord. That is why he knows that it is not possible for the priests to steal anything, but only to make it to prove this to everyone. What he did, he has told in the kingdom, he gave the command in the kingdom to bring most dangerous snakes, 100 snakes, and also asked them to bring one glass box, big box with a small entry. And now the glass box, it can be seen from all the 4 sides, and also only one hand can go inside, nothing else. And now he asked them to put all those snakes inside the box, and everyone in the assembly could see those snakes. Now the king says, because the priests, they say that they did not steal the gold, so that's why now we all of us will put our hand inside this box. Whoever is the real thief, the snake will only bite that person. Snake will not bite any other person who is not thief. And then he told the snakes, be careful, only bite the person who is the real thief. You should not even touch the hand of other persons. Now all the ministers were called, soldiers were called, whoever are going and coming in that main temple area, all those authorities are called there. And the king says, in the name of these Brahmanas, I don't want any Brahmin to die. That's why in the name of these priests, I shall put my hand first. And on behalf of all these priests, Kulshekhar Alwar, he put his hand inside. Everyone was like very scared, but none of the snakes, dangerous snakes, did bite him. And now he asks the minister, on behalf of all other ministers, you should put your hand. And immediately that minister fell on the feet of the king, because he was so scared that snake will definitely bite him. So he immediately fell on the feet and then revealed his plan. After that, Kulshekhar, he became completely detached from this world, gave up everything slowly. Kulshekhar Alwar, that time he narrated one particular verse, Tato dussangam utsrudya satsu sajjetu buddhiman santaiva chindanti mano vyasangam uktibhi. What he says, Tato dussangam utsrudya satsu sajjetu buddhiman. He says this, you have to give up the bad association and then rush. Where to rush? Buddhiman. If you are intelligent, you just run. Where? Satsang, to the right association. Now you are in the bad association. What you have to do is, you have to run for the right association. Why? Only the pure souls can rescue you. There is no other person who can rescue you. Not possible to be rescued by any other means. It is only possible only by the mercy of those pure souls. So such great personality is Kulshekhar Alwar, and he has composed one prayers, Mukunda Mala Stotram. And then what he says in this particular stotram, it's like a composition, a kind of garland for Mukunda. This prayer is like a garland for Mukunda. So beautiful. In the prayers, what he is saying, oh my mind, he is addressing his mind. He is not addressing to anyone. Great personalities, they never give instructions. Whatever they speak, that naturally becomes an instruction. They don't give instructions because they don't consider anyone to be insignificant that they have to give instructions. But whatever someone asks, they always take it in a sense that the Lord wants me to remember, the Lord wants me to change myself. That's why it's inspiration from the Lord. So what they does is they speak everything keeping themselves as an example. So now Kulshekhar Alwar, he is speaking to his own mind. Oh my mind, why do you run behind different medicines? Why do you run behind different medicines? When you have before you a very highly potential one, what is that? The holy name. And also when you have seen the great results, astounding results of this particular medicine, then also why you run here and there? What makes you run? I don't understand. He says this, when you know the effect of holy name, as we have discussed in the first chapter, divine name and its effects, effectiveness of the holy name, and also the practically it was seen in the life of Srila Haridas Thakur. Like that only Kulshekhar Alwar, he says, why do you run here and there for different medicines to come out of this material world? What are those different medicines? Medicine karma, Gyan, Yog, Tap, Tyag, all other kinds of activities. All of them are different kinds of medicines. For what? They all are for this treatment only. What is the treatment? To be free from this worldly afflictions. But he says, when you have the highly potential medicine, you have the best medicine with the best results, then why would you go here and there? And also asking the mind, did you ever think of this for a while? Like for some time at least, did you ever sit and think peacefully? Did you ever sit and think that why I am doing this? Why don't you think? And also what it says, your madness and restlessness is too much. You are so restless, you are completely mad. What is this happening? The mischief that you often work on the lives of so what you are doing, because of your restless mind, you are being engaged in sankalpas and vikalpas. Means what is sankalpa? Forming ideas. What is vikalpa? Dissolving ideas. So we form some ideas and we dissolve some ideas. What we are doing that? Our mind is so restless. Restless mind only forms some ideas, and restless mind only dissolves those ideas. So mind is so crazily engaged in this that you don't even respect the teachings, the doctrines given by these great ascetics. And also what is happening? As a result, you are suffering, and also you are trying to and also you are giving trouble to yourself. You are keeping yourself in the prison of this material world, and who knows? Only the Almighty Lord alone knows. And then when they are to get released from this prison, you are in a condition that you have kept yourself in the prison, not even knowing when you will come out of it. But the person who knows is the Lord and His holy name. Not taking shelter of the holy name, what you are doing? You are running here and there so that you can be rescued, you can be freed from all these kinds of afflictions. And what he is saying, I don't know with what objects among the creation of the Lord I can properly compare you. So Kulshekhar Alwar, he says, actually you are incomparable. The mind is incomparable. You can't be compared. If I compare you with a grasshopper or a monkey or a scorpion, what should I compare you with? I am thinking to what I have to compare you, this mind. Because like grasshopper, it doesn't sit on one place, and then this angry monkey is also so restless. Even though the monkey is not angry, then also it's very hard to control monkey. But now if the monkey is angry, then it's like crazy. And again the scorpion, if you try to go close to it, it only bites you. So all the way this mind is acting like an enemy, and I don't understand to what I have to compare it with you. And this mind itself is acting like an enemy, and enemy of yourself, not others. That's the interesting thing here. What he says, Shreya prapti karaushadham piva manah Sri Krishna divyoshadham. Shreya prapti karaushadham. What is the medicine? Shreya means topmost of the best thing which can happen. Even though this Shreya means the thing, initially it can be difficult to follow. So to take medicine is definitely a difficult thing. Sometimes the medicine is too bitter, and sometimes it's sour, sometimes it's tasteless. So no one generally wants to take any kind of medicines. But still, what he says, Shreya prapti karaushadham. Aushadham means medicine, prapti means to attain. Shreya, the best thing could ever happen. So what it is said, Manah, O my mind, piva, drink this medicine which will bring all good to you. What is that? Sri Krishna Divyaushadham, the divine medicine of Sri Krishna is the holy name. If not, you will just remain an angry monkey, you will just remain like a grasshopper or a scorpion. In fact, he is not satisfied with this comparison also. That's why Kulshekar, he says, really you are incomparable. Incomparable sounds very special, but here even in the worst case also it's incomparable only. There is nothing that I can compare you with. Means you are so useless that there is nothing to compare. If I compare with something, then also that loses its significance. You are such useless. That is the basic idea here, what Kulshekar Alvar wants to say. And the Lord and Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, keeping himself as the ideal, he is asking this question to the Lord. What he says, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayureva sudushkuram. Hey Krishna, if you want me to control my mind, that's very difficult. It is always flickering. It's not staying in one particular condition. It's not staying in one particular area. What to do? You want me to control the mind, but how can I do that? It's not possible. And what it is doing, it is controlling me. It's difficult for me to control. It's very powerful. Arjun is Savyasachi. He can release arrows with both the hands equally. And also Arjun is Gudakesh, the one who has conquered ignorance. Even though he is not ignorant, even though he is one-pointed, even though he is sincere, even being possessed with all these good qualities, but still Arjun, he says, my mind is so restless. Oh Krishna, how can I control my mind? Tasyaham nigraham. It's very difficult to control my mind. But Vayuriva sudushkuram, what it is said, that controlling mind is more difficult than controlling air. If you want me to control air, I shall just control air. That's not a big problem. Is it possible to control air? Is it possible to keep limit to air? It's impossible, but for Arjuna that is also possible. He says, I can control air. But for me to control this restless mind is very difficult. It is not possible. What to do? Air means wind. With this question, the Lord is answering to Arjuna. What he says? Ashanshayam mahabaho manodur nigraham chalam. Ashanshayam mahabaho, O great one, it's no doubt what the Lord is saying. Manodur nigraham chalam. Yes, it is not possible to control the mind. Mind is beyond control. Bhagavan Sri Krishna too agreed with the same statement of his devotee Arjuna. So what he says? He is not rejecting the statement made by Arjuna. He said, yes, it is true. Whatever you are saying is totally true. That it's not so easy to control mind. How you can control mind so easily? It's not possible. Then what to do? That is very important. Second thing which we have to understand. Abhyasena tu kaunte vairagyena cha grihate. Abhyas, by practice and then by renunciation. Vairagya. Then it is very easily possible. Which is very important. The second part is very important. Many people, they come and they keep on asking that, Maharaj, it's very difficult to control mind, but they don't want to focus on the second part of the verse where the Lord says, I totally accept that to control the mind is not so easy, but at the same time, if you want to do it, it's very easy also. You need to do only two things. What is that? Practice and renunciation. Abhyas and Vairagya. Hey Kaunteya, hey Arjun, if you can control, if you can practice, then it will naturally get controlled. Simply by doing these things. Abhyas means what? Whatever the mind wants, we should not give it to the mind. Mind wants us to go there, we should not allow the mind to go there, so we will not go there. Mind wants to eat, we don't want to give him to eat. Mind wants to do something, mind wants to criticize someone, we will not accept it. Whatever the mind wants to do, we are not going to accept it. Mind has to follow what we want him to do. That is abhyas, practice. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada in his Harikatha, he says that every day once you wake up, take the shoes and beat your mind at least 100 times. Not once. You have to beat your mind 100 times in one day. How we beat the mind? Because mind is not something which appears like substance, like blood or flesh or heart or brain or something. Mind can't be seen in that way. So how we will beat the mind? The only way to beat the mind is to regulate the mind, is to control the mind, is to refrain the mind from the desires which arise in the mind. So mind says, let's go do something, Hare Krishna. No. Mind says, let's eat, Hare Krishna. Whatever the mind says, we have to strike the mind repeatedly again and again through the holy name. Because there is no other thing which is potent enough to control the mind. We can imagine when Arjun says that for me it's impossible. Tasyaham nigraham manye. For me it's difficult to control mind. If a person like Arjuna can't control the mind, then ordinary persons, with the help of what, they will be easily control the mind? Not possible. So what they have to do, the best thing to control the mind is to you take the help of the holy name. Whatever desire arises in the mind, just strike it with the holy name, Hare Krishna. Whatever desire comes, Hare Krishna. Whatever desire comes, Hare Krishna. Repeatedly. That's why we are recommended, we are prescribed to chant the holy name repeatedly. If we keep on chanting the name repeatedly, mind will not stand. Mind will not demand anything. Like Lord Krishna, when he went inside Kaliya Hrath, and then finally he jumped on the hood of Kaliya and then came up. As he came up, the Kaliya, he has so many hoods. So he tried to bite the Lord. What the Lord is doing, as the hood, the Kaliya is raising, immediately the Lord is crushing it. Dam, 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 like that. So he just gave one kick and then it vomits and then finish. In this way, he has placed his footprints on all the hoods of that Kaliya. And also it is to protect him, because when Garuda sees the footprints of the Lord, immediately he will not kill Kaliya. One way it appears like he is punishing Kaliya, but another way, if we see through the vision of a devotee, then the Lord is giving his mercy to Kaliya. That's why the wives of this Kaliya has appeared near the Lord and they are praying along with their small children. Kasyanu bhavasya nadeva vidmahe tavangri renum sparishadikaro. How it is possible? We know that our husband is not good person, but we are unable to understand his great fortune today, that how he got the chance to get the divine food dust of your lotus feet on his head. It all depends on the vision, how we see and understand. Anyhow, here the thing is mind also. As the mind, the desire in the mind arises, immediately we have to beat it, we have to crush it like this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like that we have to do. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, at least beat 100 times. Don't let any desire come in the mind. That is abhyas. How we do that? Through the holy name. So practicing to chant the holy name, repeatedly chanting the holy name. Ek Krishna Naam kare sarva papakshay. Only the one single name of the Lord, it can easily solve all the problems. It can easily wash out all the sins and sinful reactions, sinful activities, everything from the heart of the aspirant. But just to chant that one single Harinam, we have to practice. That is abhyas. By that practice and vairagya, renunciation. What is renunciation? Vigat rag, giving up all the desires. But when we will not have rag, then we can't just remain like this. So we will have dvesh. So if we don't love the world, definitely we will hate the world. This loving and hating, accepting and rejecting philosophies are not going to help the person in his life. What we have to do? It is said, keep this rag in you only. Don't just give up. But what you have to do is, Visiste Paramapurushe Anuraga. Have this attachment, have this love, not for the world, for the Lord. That is true meaning of renunciation. Our most revered Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Damodar Goswami Vishnupad, he has given this meaning for he has given this meaning for vairagya. The true renunciation is not to give up the desires of this world. Our acharyas, they have prescribed us about yukta vairagya. Whatever is favorable for the service of the Lord, we will accept, thinking everything to be part of Maya, rejecting everything whatever is useful for the service of the Lord itself is also an offense. So, we are here neither to enjoy nor to reject, we are here only to serve the Lord. That is very important. So, the true vairagya means, the true renunciation means to develop a strong devotion and love towards the Supreme Lord. If we can do these two things, means if we can chant the holy name with the desire to attain the true love of God, then we are performing abhyas, we are performing vairagya. When we are performing these two, naturally our mind comes under our control. So, what happens further? If not, this restless mind is very difficult to conquer. You can't conquer it. So, many people may be ignorant. Many people may be ignorant of the wicked activities of the mind. How mind is tricky, many people are not aware of. They think everything is fine. They don't even understand that no, it's a trick. Mind is so tricky, it can pull us any time. But or maybe they may be knowing this, but still mind is so powerful that it doesn't let the person surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. It doesn't help the person to have a happy, peaceful life. So, Kulshekhar Alwar, he says, what he says? You are the bitterest enemy of humanity. You are the bitterest enemy. You are such a strong enemy. And what kind of enemy you are? You are enemy to the soul which is striving for God realization. So, that is why Kulshekhar Alwar, he says, mind is very dangerous, mind is very restless, mind is very tricky. So, even though if you have the desire to chant the holy name, many of the times that mind doesn't allow you to do so. So, that is why we have to control the mind. How it is possible? Only through chanting of the holy name, prescribed by the teachings and the injunctions of the revered acharyas. We shall discuss further tomorrow. Thank you very much. Jai Radhe Shyam.